All right, we back again. Ooh, got up late this morning because I worked about 14 hours last night, right? So I slept a little bit later this morning. So it's 3:50 a.m. Right, so I'm not gonna be in the market. Maybe I might still get an hour and a half, close to 2 hours. We'll see. 3:50 Eastern Standard Time. So all right. So hopefully, as you can see on my screen, I'm in profit for my account. Not much. It's a 50K account. So the balance is $50,364.04. So like I'm slow rolling it. I'm taking it easy. I'm trying my best not to blow it. I just don't want to trade my account like it's like it's just fun money because it's not. I want to treat it just like an actual 50K account of my own money because I want to get in the habit of trading it that way. So I want to trade it just like I would trade a real live account because eventually it will be a real live account. So I don't want to trade it like some guys be trading their evals, right? Or their proper accounts and just you know trying to hit home runs, then blowing it, and trying another one and blowing it. I don't want to do that. Right? I want to create good habits from the beginning. So that's my goal. All right, so I'll close that up. Let me get things straight. Okay. So one thing you're going to see, like I mentioned in previous videos, this is my discovery phase. I don't know for how long, maybe 30, 60 days, I would imagine, of me figuring out what works the best as far as my entry time frame. Is it the 5 second, 15 second, 30 second, or just eliminating the smaller time frame in general and just trading off the 5 minute? That's actually what I would like to do. Really just trade off the 5 minute. However, I don't really have the I'm not gonna say I don't have the time, but since I don't have a lot of time, roughly about 2 hours max, maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes if I come to the market at 2:45. But so I really want to put myself in a position where I can take some high probability setups, 2 or 3, and then get out within those 2 hours. And I feel that if I trade on a lower time frame, 15 second, 30, 5 second possibly, that it would present that. But I'm not gonna truly know that for real until I actually trade that and get some reps in. So that's what I'm gonna start doing. So I'll be switching between those probably for the next 30, 60 days, getting some data. Still waking up. Data is it's kind of like the key word around here. Data, more data. So let me go to, that's not it. All right, first, before I even truly get started, I did not do a proper preparation for trading this morning, right? Because I'm already late to the markets. So But what I am going to do is I'm going to look at the daily first, so we can try to get an idea of which way price may be going. Okay. Then we're going to go look at the hour time frame, and then we'll go down to the 5 minute and the 5 second, and then I will have two charts up on my screen. Right? So here we are right here. Right now, it's in the form of a doji because we just started. No, we didn't just start today. I'm sorry. But in the evening time, market closes at I think 5 for an hour and opens back up at 6. So here we are this morning at 3:56. So we don't have a lot of. The session just began not long ago, a few hours ago, right? So here we are. Small counter for the day. I'm pretty sure it won't stay that way, but who knows? But anyway, uh, so a lot of times I will condense the chart, and that way I can get a good idea of how price is actually trending. And it's under the 200 EMA, so it's trending downward, right? But the day before yesterday and the day before that, you have this green candle and this red candle right here. They both halted at this purple support line right here. This line was also touched previously 2 times since April in April and in May of this year. And right now, it looked like I can't tell really what price is doing. Right? It could be making its way back down to the line, or possibly still rejecting from that level. So I guess we can say it's in a neutral state. That's how I'm looking at the charts. Everyone looks at the chart and sees something different. But at the moment, it's definitely under the 20 EMA, which is this yellow line, and then the 200 EMA, the purple line. So it's pretty much still in the downtrend. Or it is in the downtrend. All right, so since we know price is down on the daily, like they say, don't fight the trend. If the trend is down, then you should be looking for sales ideally. But I feel like since I'm trading on and entering on a small time frame, I will take buys too if it makes sense, because I'm not going to be in a trade for that long and for that much of a move. So, all right, so we see prices down on the daily. Let's go to the hourly. And I remove these previous lines on my chart. As a matter of fact, I guess so. No, I'll take those off later. But I will keep this purple line though, because that's a major support line. That gives me some reference of what price is. Even on the smaller time frames, I know if it's near this purple line, then it's also near the bottom. Well, it's near a major previous support line. And that definitely holds some weight. Because if you can look here, it came here, and look at the rejection. So, and that was 3 days ago. So, all right, so we see on the hour, price is still in the downward trend on the 20 and the 200 EMA. All right, So now I'm going to go pull up 2 charts, and then I'll go to my 5 minute, my 30, my 5 second. I remember when I first started, when I was introduced to trading, right? The 1 minute seemed like it was just, I don't know if I truly felt that way or it was a train of thought that was given to me, the other beginner traders who are afraid of smaller time frame. But then I started to realize from other traders who were more successful, not in person because I don't truly know anyone here in Richmond, Virginia, right? I'm pretty sure it's probably somebody, but you know, we don't have a Wall Street or nothing like that. So, and I haven't seen anyone online per se. And the guys that I started off with in Forex, that was 2020, I think, when I first was introduced to it, but I didn't stick to it. Then I tried some other businesses and they didn't work out. However, maybe they're still successful. Not still successful, but maybe they became successful. At least I hope they did. They were some cool guys and gals, but I don't know. But anyway, so from a smaller time frame standpoint, I was told that it's not necessarily reckless, but it moves so fast. So I think we traded mostly like on the hour or something like that. I don't know. I can't even remember. However, I think they said, I don't know the exact word. Is it fractal? Maybe that's the word they use. I would have to look it up. But for the way they look at the market. All right, so a 5 minute. So if a strategy could work on a 5 minute, then it can work on a 3 minute, the 2 minute, the 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15, 5, whatever. And we're going to see. But from when I look at it, it seems like it can, you know. Um, but I believe they trade just slightly different on each time frame, and some time frames hold more weight than others. But there's a pro and a con to everything. Like I don't have that much time, so I need to get in and get out the market, not to rush a trade, but to take advantage of as many possibilities and opportunities as possible. So, oh, this is 1 hour. All right, so let me draw some support and resistance levels. I'll draw my levels real quick. Even so, even if I did draw levels from yesterday, I'm sorry. If I did draw levels yesterday, I still like to come into the market each day and draw fresh levels. Right? And the ones from yesterday might still hold, but I just like to draw them over again. I might see something different. And then also depending on where price is at, some levels I can tell that most likely aren't important because price probably won't reach those depending on the way that the price is trending. So I'll draw this resistance right here. This catches my attention. Yeah, upper right now. Mm-mm-mm. Also, too, I'm looking for pullbacks. That's it. That's the only entry that I'm looking for. Uh, no, I'm not gonna say that. Hold on, because I'm still torn between, not to be seem indecisive. I am a little bit because I'm still learning. However, I have two, I guess, areas of interest. Is at a EMA when price pulls back at the EMAs, right? On the 5 minute chart. The 20 and the 200, those are my areas of interest, right? Those are my first areas of interest. And then I have levels. It's to see how price interacts at those levels. And then I take a reversal. So I still have those two. Ideally, I would just like to just master one entry, and that'd be pullbacks only. But I don't know if that would give me enough opportunities within the time frame that I'd be trading, because it's a small time frame. I mean, it's a small window of time for me to trade, so I'm not exactly sure just yet. And also looking at the price on the 5 minute, and it was a pullback up here to this 200, but for the most part, it's not trending right now. So price is more in consolidation. It's moving sideways within this channel. So I probably won't see any good trades that fit my trade criteria until price breaks one of these two levels right here. The support up above price, or I'm sorry, the resistance up above price, or either the support below price. So until it breaks those channels, I don't really see anything, because I don't like consolidated areas. But one of my major goals too is really to simplify my trading strategy and just my trading system as I build it out over the next 30, 60, 90 days. Keep it as simple as possible. I want it so simple. Therefore, I have a lot less mental friction when it comes to placing a trade. You know, if I have to help someone else and explain it to them, I want it to be simple. I don't want it to be complicated. I see people trade the ICT and some other concepts. Yeah, for some people, it works for them. But everyone learns differently too. So I guess you got to learn yourself and be as self-aware as possible. And for me, I like it simple, easy to understand, easy to explain. I like to keep my life that way too. Smooth, easy, simple, peaceful. You know what I mean? Not a lot of clutter, mentally, physically, emotionally, none of that. So I guess that translates over into the way I view trading and how I would like to trade. And forgive me too if I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be a little difficult to see the 5 second time frame. The bars are a lot smaller. It looks funny because of lack of volume, I guess. And they're not as full as even the 30 second or even the 15 second. And especially not as full as this 5 minute to the left, to the chart left. I don't know what it looks like on your end, but um, the chart on the left should be the 5 minute, I would think. So anyway, it looks a little choppy. So I'm gonna try to increase it. So hopefully y'all can see it on y'all end and it's visible enough. Because I increased the, what is it called anyway? I just increased the size of things on my screen from 100% to 125 for that reason. And I think it just looks better, but the 5 second just looks choppy, you know. I will say though, just by looking at the chart this morning, I don't think I probably wouldn't have taken a trade. This was a pullback here, but price wasn't really trending. It was more moving moving in a channel. I probably wouldn't have took that too. Not a pullback way up here. But if you look on this 5-minute chart, right? Now some people do trade channels because they say that the majority of the time price is not trending. The majority of the time price is in consolidation. I forgot what the percentage is. I don't want to misquote what the truth or what the data said. I want to think believe it said 80%. I don't know. That might be high. That might even be low. I don't know. But in this particular area, right, after hour trading session, the after hours start at, let's see, 1800. So that's 6 o'clock. And price was bouncing, since 16:30, so it's 4:30 p.m. Price was between 55.98. That's this orange resistance level above price, and 55.76. That's this orange support level below price. And you could play the bounces, right, from these two levels in between, from the bottom to the top, from the top to the bottom, possibly. Well, let me get on to something because price is starting to move, it looks like. Let's see. Price came back, it tested that resistance. Look at that. Yeah, it was moving between the channels, that's for sure. Let me get back focused. All right, so we're going to see if price continues down on this 5-second chart, on the charts in general, right? Or if price wants to, I guess, reverse and move back higher. Because it did it previously at around an hour and 20 minutes ago at 3 a.m. It broke below that support, went back up. Let's look to the left and see if it found other previous support. I mean, price was, I can't truly say it did. There was previous price action to the left, of course, but it wasn't that many days ago, so possibly, yep, okay, yeah, possibly, yeah, it was some price action that lined up with price halting here at 3 a.m. So I could draw a line there also. Once I look to the left, I see other price action interacting at that particular area. So I could have drew a line, but I'm not gonna draw one. I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Where we at currently looking at price, right? So I noticed when I'm looking at, let's say, a smaller time frame, and price gets to an area of interest, whether it be a EMA or in this case a support level. On the 5 second, you can see price kind of halted here, like because it was trending down with no hesitation. Here it's taking a pause. It could be starting to reject because I am seeing a wick on the 5 minute, right? On the 5 minute, I'm seeing this wick right here. Price could be finding a temporary bottom and moving higher. Or not. I mean, price can only go pretty much two ways, up or down. I mean, the third way is sideways, but if it's moving sideways on the 5 minute, you can still see it going up, trending up or trending down on a smaller time frame too. So pretty much price is gonna go up or down. And even when it gets to a resistance level or EMA, it's either going to go up or down. So I guess it's pretty much a 50-50 chance depending on how high you expect it to go. That's a factor that you have to take into consideration. And then how far you want it to go down. And if you were expecting maybe a 1-to-1, I guess maybe it'd be a 50-50 chance once it gets to that area. So a lot of times it's going to react if you're drawing your levels pretty good and you can pinpoint levels where price interacted with before. Either it's going to reverse or continue. It might consolidate for a little while, but eventually, right, it's going to go one or two ways. So I'm realizing that trading it's not easy, but it's not necessarily complicated. Price is either going to go up or go down. I think we make it complicated. And I hear other successful traders echo that same sentiment. So I guess I have to trust their judgment since they already are successful and consistent, especially depending on how long they've been in the market and their level of expertise. So I'm tired, bro. Okay. Nah, I don't like that. That would have been like guessing. Yeah. Just a whole lot of waiting, man. A lot of waiting. I was listening to a trader yesterday on YouTube. He was talking about the psychology of just being patient. And he was talking about how a lot of times when you're bored, just like some people can't sit by themselves, they can't meditate, they can't be without any kind of dopamine, I guess, whether it's a phone, TV, some kind of noise to keep them distracted from thinking. And so if you can't sit still and you feel like you need action, then you're going to take the wrong action a lot of times. And that goes for trading too. I don't know, I forgot his name, man. He rides around, white guy, rides around, and I don't know what color the Bentley is, but it has black leather seats with the red Bentley stitching. And he gives some good information. I think he has glasses. I can't remember. But he's always in his car giving out good game about trading. So, and I've seen that exactly what he spoke about. Even if you don't know, no, damn, was that him? Or was it Carmen Rosado? I think that's his name. That's another guy. He was talking about, oh yeah, Carmen Rosado was speaking of learning when not to trade. It's possibly even better than knowing when to trade. So you won't feel that void of patience when you're just sitting and you feel like, oh, well, price is moving, so I should be moving. No, not necessarily. If it doesn't line up with your strategy and your system, you shouldn't be moving at all. You should be sitting and waiting. A lot of people can't wait. It's crazy as that sounds. But a lot of people can't sit either, especially now with all these cell phones and tablets and distractions. So if you become a good waiter and a good sitter, that could help you become a better trader. So, I don't trade breakouts myself unless price, if price has already, let's say price was already trending and then it pulls back and it consolidates at an EMA, and I'll put a line below that consolidation, and then when it breaks out, then I might take the trade, right? I don't really consider that a breakout trade. I still consider that just a pullback. It might consolidate a little longer, but that's the way that I interpret it. Right? So if price was in a, let's say, a consolidation channel and it broke out like it's breaking out now, I'm going to wait for price to pull back to the 20 EMA on the 5-minute, because I've seen that once price starts to trend, then it pulls back, that it seems as if I would have a higher probability trade of that first pullback being a continuation towards the downside, or if it was already trending upward and it pulls back into the 20 EMA, that it would be a higher probability for it to continue upward. Right? So price rejected and it's going back upward, but I didn't like this rejection. I wouldn't have taken that. That doesn't seem clean to me on my end, on the 5-second anyway. If price shooting back up there to the 20, and we're going to see what it does when it gets there. So I need trending price action on the 5-minute or higher for um, for me to execute and find my entry. Yeah. Trending pullback, trending, then a pullback, then continues to trend also. Again, yep, I like that. And my back testing showed that I can work that. I can work with that. But even look, so even at these levels right here, because if I would just took this level, price came down into this previous area. Once I seen it come back a little bit, I could have took that. I could have seen it bounce. Right? Nothing is guaranteed. You just put things, try to put things in your favor. So. Okay. Oh man. Yeah, I'm looking for price to pull back. Let's see. All right. So level there. So for my 5-minute time frame, I see a level to the left. This particular area, this consolidation area, a price action. Here, there, I see a level, right? And price has pretty much stopped at that level. So that's what catches my attention. Now, price doesn't have to come all the way back to the 20 EMA. However, if it comes close enough, that can also be a rejection, a pullback, and then further continuation. I don't think it's there just yet, but it could shop around this particular area or not. And then also too, if I draw a level and it's invalidated price just blows past it and it doesn't seem like it's going to interact with it again, or in the way that I would like, then I just take that level off the chart so that my chart won't be cluttered. I don't like that. So now I'm looking for rejection. Right? You look at the 5-minute time frame, price has hit the 20 EMA on my 5-second. My purple is almost lined up with my purple EMA, right? Which is, as of right now, a 1,000 EMA on my 5-second. And it's lined up with the 20 EMA, roughly, on the 5-minute. So I just entered into a trade, a short. Now, reasoning for it was a rejection off of this line above. I should have got in, honestly, here, a little bit higher, but the only thing that gives me caution also is the support line, this orange support line. Which might cause some resistance. So I got in with a 3-tick stop loss, going for a 9 for a 1 to 3. If it stops me out, I'll look back to enter if things look favorable. But a lot of times I realize sometimes the first entry might not be the best entry, or you might be right in your direction but just wrong in your timing. So just because you might get stopped out doesn't mean you can't get back in. But I should have got in up, should have got in higher, right? At least up around. That's a learning process though. That was fear why I didn't get in higher, but I should have got in higher. Somebody get stopped out, but it's okay. Oh, okay. So I had 2 contracts. One of my contracts, I was stopped out. Uh, so yeah, I was stopped out with one of my contracts. However, the second one didn't get stopped out. So I'm still in the trade for the time being. Hopefully I can make that money back and maybe break even at least. And I'm shooting for a 1 to 3, right? For it to come down to this blue line where it says buy limit. That'll be a 1 to 3. So I'm up $80. Hopefully it pushes through. I am going to move my stop loss up to break even. All right. Okay. Damn, man. Shoot. All right. That was crazy. So it took, I had two contracts. One contract got stopped out because if not, then that would have been, because I was risking $60. So 90, two contracts, $20 a tick. That would have been 180 if one didn't get stopped out. Yeah. That's okay. And I'm trading smaller, right? I would rather be trading, like, say, three contracts with if I'm using three ticks as my stop loss, it's $10 a tick with crude oil. Right? So me having two contracts with a three tick stop loss, that's $60, right? $10 a tick. So for one contract, three ticks, 10, 10, 10. $10 a tick, $30. Two contracts, double that, that's $60. I'm looking for a nine tick profit. So $10 a tick, nine ticks is 90. A second contract, double that, that's 180. That's what it would have been. But one got stopped out. But that's still my fault because of fear. Right? I'm very aware of that too because I should have got in up here. I seen price on my 5 minute reject from this 20 EMA. The yellow, the 20 EMA on the 5 minute, which is my equivalent to the 1,000 EMA, this purple line on my 5 second. So when price rejected from there, I should have got in right here. That's where I should have got in at. But the yellow EMA on my 5 second does cause me hesitation. It's not that significant. I might should take it off, man. I'm going to look at that too because it causes me to pause. I'm definitely going to pause if I see price interacting with the yellow EMA on my 5 minute because that holds significant weight. But on my 5 second, it really doesn't. And it causes me to pause more times than not. So I might take that off. I'm going to look at that. I'm not going to make that a concrete decision just yet. But moving forward, I'm definitely going to look at that because I should have got in right here at this red candle. I seen the rejection up here, should have got in there, and then I would have still had both of my contracts, and that would have been $180. But hey, you live and you learn, right? And that's the good thing about it. Okay. I'll take something though. All right, so then we back up to $50,417.36. I think, where was that earlier today? I should have wrote that down. It's not important. And that was a pullback too. All right. So I'm going to look at that, man, because take that stupid EMA up off there, right? Let me get back to where I'm supposed to be at. And look at price. Price. All right. So look here, right? My pink circle. This is my demonstration tool. And using my demonstration tool, you can see here on the 5-minute chart, price is interacting, right? It's halting at the same area where price halted at 2, let's say 3 a.m. this morning, about an hour and 46 minutes ago. So now, presently, where price is on the 5-second, you see price starting to consolidate and build a base. Is it going to reject and go back up? I don't know yet. It's still a gamble. All right. I'm not saying trading is gambling. If it is, it's similar. You're just putting things in your favor, right? If you have an edge, then I guess it wouldn't really be gambling. But Jesse Livermore called it speculation. I think that's a better term for it because you don't know, but you're looking for patterns. I think pattern recognition, that skill set is very important. And then you give yourself an edge and a higher probability of success because of that. If you see certain factors on the chart repeatedly that seem to come into play and work out in your favor more than not, then you can give yourself an edge because you can recognize that and take advantage of that. But, and one for me is the 5-minute pullback. You saw it in action. I just, I have to get better at my entries and get rid of the little bit of fear that's in my, I don't want to say this in my heart, man. But anyway, a little bit of fear when it comes to trading and entering a trade. We don't want to claim that. Be fearless out here, man. But okay, it's better than nothing. I still wish it would have been. I would have took that 180. So I'm trading 2 contracts, so I'm risking $60. Another thing too is if I enter off of the 5-minute time frame, I found that a six tick stop loss seems to be more appropriate. Still tight, but not tight like on the 5-second because I can put in a 3 tick stop loss. Even a 2, now the 2 is going to be tight. The 3, it depends on what you consider tight. Because I'm not going for a 1-to-1. I'm going for a 1-to-3. And if I didn't have that resistance, I probably would have went for a 1-to-4. But, 1-to-4 is pretty much anywhere between a 1-to-3 or a 1-to-4 is where I like to keep it. Ideally, I would love to get a 1-to-4 though, on average. That'll set me up to be successful. A 1-to-3 will too. But I don't know. We'll see. Moving forward on the 5-second time frame, maybe a 3.5, anywhere between those two, because I also don't want to be greedy. Going for a 1-to-5, 1-to-6, and then have price continuously move back against me, and then take me out. All right. So I got a lot of things to improve on. One is my entry. I'm not really over trading or revenge trading. I don't really have a high, I guess, propensity to do that. I have done it before. But y'all got excuse me, man. I ain't get that much sleep. So, but yeah, I'm not big on revenge trading. I don't know. I just don't really. I can moderate that. I think my biggest issue right now is the fear of entry and losing, and I'm overcoming that slowly but surely. And what else? I mean, from the psychological aspect, but from a technical aspect, entering, that's part of it too. Where to enter at? Where to get out at? I think it's mostly because I don't have enough data, man. And I really believe that's a really big issue for most traders because they get really, really upset, get frustrated. But you gotta have data, man, to know exactly what you're doing, especially if you're learning just from YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, you're not at, what is it? IMB Capital or something like that. It's a prop firm. I think, what's the trader name? Lance Gross, I think it is. And some Belafonte or Bellafury, those guys, they got a really good channel, man. Y'all should check it out. I think it's called IMB Capital. Oh man, they got a lot of information for free too. And you don't have those guys around you when you're learning. A lot of times trading is lonely. Like, you have to be a studious individual. You have to believe in yourself. Even when you doubt yourself, you got to dig deep and find that. And I fell off a few times because of work, because most of my jobs are difficult as far as time wise. Like, I drive trucks by trade, I guess, if you want to call it that, a trade. Not really, I guess. I don't know what it should be labeled as, but if you're driving trucks, man, you don't know when you're getting off. Unless you go to like a Class B box truck, and you have a better chance of getting off at a decent time. But that could be crazy because I had box truck jobs, man. I don't get off, man. 16 hours, man. And if I'm driving tractor trailers, that's 14 off the rip, right? Well, I can say maybe 12, anywhere in between 11 and 14 hours. But you never know. Right? You can't truly make plans if you're driving trucks. Unless you know, okay, well, I know I'll be off at 14 hours. I can't drive no more than 14 hours legally. So, but then you get home, you gotta take a shower. I hope you take a shower. Clean yourself up, probably get some food if you're on top of your diet, so you won't be a fat truck driver and get sick, right? Because truck stop food will kill you. Let me see what else. So you really don't have a lot of time. And then you need rest. Like, you just can't operate all 3-4 hours as a truck driver. You're gonna kill yourself or somebody else. You drive that truck off into a family or something, or off a road. That ain't nothing to play around with. So it's difficult to trade as a truck driver. So I'm gonna make a video on that eventually too, as I get better at trading, to help other truck drivers, like, build out a format or a roadmap for it if you want to get away. Because I know most guys I know drive trucks. Man, we don't want to drive trucks forever. Sitting in that truck, messing your back up, condensing your spine, and messing up your hip joints, and messing up your left knee, pushing that clutch in all the time. But a lot of trucks now are automatic, but I don't know if you're driving a dump truck. I think that probably still has clutches. I don't know if they have automatic dump. They might have automatic. I don't know. I don't drive a dump truck. But I will say, if you're driving trucks, if you do want to learn how to trade, man, you can still learn, right? On your downtime, while you're in that bunk, or if you're driving local, you go home, I'll say start off with swing trading. Probably just start off with options. Swing trading options. Because you don't have to be in front of the charts all day. Swing trade out the 4-hour or the daily. It's going to be a little slower, and you're going to have to learn how to hold your trades overnight for a few days, maybe even a few weeks. You see the price fluctuate up and down, which can be stressful depending on what kind of trader you are and your personality type. But you're going to have to start somewhere. But you don't have to stress yourself out about it. You can look at it from the standpoint of, you're going to put money aside, right? Keep hustling, keep working hard, put money aside, pay down some debt, because you need to keep the stress up off you financially as much as possible if you want to be a good trader. I'm telling you, it'll make a big difference. So pay down some debt, even if it takes you 6 months to a year, but in that time, be studying, find you not too many people to follow on YouTube. Find you maybe like 5 good, solid people who possibly they've been in the game for a while and they show their profits and losses. So you can feel confident that they know what they're talking about, and they're not just making a whole bunch of videos trying to make money off YouTube that way. And follow them. Maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 10. That might be excessive, but you can always cut it down. Even if you start with 10 people, just start cutting it down to the people you like the most, because you don't know until you start getting more information. And then just start that way. Just trade off the daily. Right? You don't have to put a lot of money into it, $100, $200, $300 trading options. So you will get the gist of what trading entails. And then after maybe 6 months, a year, depending on your financial situation, maybe get your hazmat, I don't know, TWIC card, whatever else you might want to pay for while you're driving trucks, Class A, and then switch to Class B so that you can hopefully have a decent home time in the evening or in the morning, depending on, if you like driving overnight. And then you have a better chance, what I've seen within the Class B vehicle, to have a better trading time frame. You find what session that you can trade in, and even if you're only trading for an hour, if you want to day trade, it's better than nothing, because now you're learning. But the good thing I realized, man, like now, like I wish they had this. It would have been easier for me when I first got with IML, because you using your own capital back then. They didn't have prop firms, not like they do now. So if you're working, and I was working hard, man, trying to start a business on the side, losing money on that, then start another one that ain't work out right. Trying to save for your future, save to hopefully buy a house, pay down debt, and put money into the market, into something that you can lose money like this. You know what I mean? Your hard-earned capital. Come on, man. And if you're not making, now if you're making like 2,000 a week, this like right before COVID, right? 2,000, like 2019, 2020, I don't know. And you don't have a lot of capital, and to lose capital, oh man, it's hard, bro. It's really hard, man. When you don't have a lot of capital, it's stressful, because you already got bills and you're trying to survive and get ahead that way. So for prop firms, instead of you losing 500,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month or whatever it is, right? Depending on how much money you make, you can take, let's say if it's $2,000, right? Let's say you risking 500 a week trying to learn how to trade, and initially you're going to lose. You can take that 2,000, pay for some training, right? Find you some good traders, get into some of their, even if it's a course, right? You can start out with a smaller course that's not that expensive. YouTube has a lot of free courses, but you might find a trader that you like, and then you can follow them, get into their group. So out of that 2,000, you could just say, hey, well, I'm gonna keep 500 for my prop firm challenges until I become a good trader. Start off with a small account, like a 50K account, Apex. It's like $40 a month. So set aside $500 for that, and then take $1,500 and pay for your education. I know we don't like to spend money like that, a lot of us. We think we're paying somebody, we can get it for free on YouTube. But it's something about, truthfully, putting your money up that kind of holds you, or I don't want to say it makes you, but it inspires you to stay even more committed when your money is on the line. Something about being a cheapskate. And I used to be that way too, until I really start to understand the importance of putting money on yourself, or paying for certain education, investing in yourself, so to speak. Your mind, your education will set you free, and also your health is something that's kind of hard. Like, you shouldn't really negotiate that. I'm not saying buy Whole Foods, shop at Whole Foods all the time. and break your bank. But find a way to buy healthy food to take care of yourself so you can keep your mind clear. It's easier to wake up. I know for myself, I try not to eat heavy food. Like I had a smoothie last night, and I'll try to make another one before I go to work this morning. Right? It matters. It's easier to get up that way. But when you eat heavy food, man, you become lethargic and slothful, you know? So these things matter. Small things matter. Small habits turn into big habits, you know? But I'm definitely, eventually I'll make a video because I know a lot of truck drivers who don't want to drive trucks, man. You get old, you doing that. A lot of times we don't love driving trucks. Depending on your background and your circumstances, sometimes that's the best and most viable option for you at the time. And then you can get stuck there. And then you start looking like a truck driver. Get all fat, you know what I mean? Get a fat neck, skin start looking bad for eating all that greasy food on the highway. Truck stop food with them nasty ass um, greasy potatoes, right? You don't pay your money for the food. You want to throw it away, but you're like, man, I don't know. Where else can I put this big truck into? And it's always chicken there. Right? Ain't no vegetables. Pepperoni piece and cheese piece. They don't even make vegetable pieces damn near, right? A whole bunch of packaged food. Terrible, man. But it's a blessing too because if you can feed your family, I mean, hey, some sacrifice has to be made, right? Then on top of that, I realized, and I was telling who I was talking to, one of my partners, and I see a lot of people online talking about, they're losing their jobs, man, which is sad and unfortunate. And they were making good money, tech workers and other corporate workers, or even just, people who work at factories. I seen Ford closing down, a lot of places. But if you lose your job and you have nowhere to live, I seen people living out of cars, they're living inside of storage units. If your license isn't too bad, another route that a person can take and get paid and have somewhere that's warm to live, right, is go to one of these trucking companies. And a lot of times they'll train you for free, and you will be obligated for a year to drive for them. If you don't fulfill that obligation, they want their money back. So their training programs a lot of times between $7,000 and $10,000. However, you work for a year, you pay it off, and within that year, you're staying in the truck. So you sleep in the truck. You can always get you a hotel or something. If you're tired of staying in the truck, truck got a bed in it. You can put a little refrigerator in there, all that, right? And that'll save you from being out sleeping in your car, you know. It sure will. It'll save you from sleeping in your car, being in a very uncomfortable situation, right? Where it's cold outside or too hot or whatever. If you're in the truck, you work, you know, you can only work 70 hours a week, I think it is. But that's a good option for people, man. Some people most likely haven't thought about that because I don't see people talking about it. But if your license is decent and you find yourself getting kicked out, you have nowhere to go, you don't know which way to go, some trucking companies are still hiring. Swift called me all the time. They send me texts. US Express send me texts. Snyder send me texts about job openings. You just live on the road, man, for a year or two. You got Wi-Fi in there. Take your computer. You're making money. You're not paying no rent. You're out of the cold. You can be studying for something else. Make another move. Pivot later on. Year, 2, maybe 3 years. Save up some money. You don't need a car. You can always just use Uber because you're always in the truck. You just dedicate yourself, to getting out of poverty. It's going to take some sacrifice, but shit, it's better than living, in a storage unit and you don't know which way you're gonna turn, or living in your car, you know, it's unfortunate, but for others, but it's an option. It's a good option too. I know almost everybody, when you drive trucks, you living in the truck, and even if you got a house, man, you barely home when you first start, because you're not gonna get really a local job until you at least get 6 months experience. So you might get regional, you know, but a lot of times you out on the road 2-3 weeks. So anyway, look, I see price dropping. However, I didn't get in because I didn't like this pullback. You know, I didn't feel confident with this pullback. It halted here, but I like to see the pullback. Excuse me. I like to see the pullback either. Ideally, I like to see the pullback stop at the 20 EMA on a 5 minute, or it comes up, touches 200 EMA and rejects from it. This one did not. It pulled back right in between, and so I wasn't really confident. So it's still really not my trade. It's close to my trade. It's right in between it. My setup, but oh man, it wasn't my setup. I'm tired. So I didn't take it, but it did drop though. You know, it dropped. It did drop. If I would have took that, I feel like I would have just been gambling. I would have just been gambling because that's not my setup. It's close to it, but it's not. It's not, you know. And then I don't want to be greedy. But when you see price drops like it just did, you're like, oh man, if I would have got in, and then that's when you start gambling and chasing and all that stuff. So I don't want I don't want that to become a habit. But my first trade, and that was a good trade. That was a good trade. It wasn't the best. It was a great setup, and I followed through with it, which I'm proud of. However, I could have had a better entry if I didn't have that little bit of fear. It wasn't enough fear to stop me from entering the trade, which initially it would have been before. Because when you take a few losses, you lose your confidence, but you got to get over that because you're going to lose. It's just part of doing business when it comes to trading, right? The cost of doing business. So I'm like, oh, I got sidetracked too, didn't it? So I'm only doing 2 contracts right now. So I'm risking $60. Now, after about another week or two, once I get into the flow of my trading system, it won't be finalized by then too. You know, but I will have some kinks worked out, and also that just getting back into the flow in general, right? Being in front of the markets every single day. I missed one day this week. I almost missed this morning because I didn't get that much sleep last night because I worked so late. But I got up, right? So 4 days this week, and just getting back into the flow of being in front of the charts every single day, you start to look at you start to spend more time in front of the charts. And so therefore you start to become more in sync with the charts. You start to feel more comfortable with the charts. And you start seeing things that you didn't see before. So things will start to flow a little bit better for me. I would say I feel like anyway another week or two after I become consistent again. And then with that, then I will increase my, look at that price going up too. I think shooting. Look at that rejection one. See, it's stuff like that that make you want to take rejections, you know. Yeah. Make you want to take them too, because right there, that's when, see, that's what causes me to pause, man. Maybe that's greed, but then that'll be two interests, and I don't want it. I just really want to focus on one. So I guess that is greed when you see moves like that, you know. But it's always easier to see moves like that after the move has taken place. But in the moment, you know, you can't tell. It's really just a big consolidation area. uh, from from 6 o'clock p.m. Yesterday when the market opened back up for after market hours until now, like a lot of consolidation. You know. But looking at this 5 second, might could have caught that rejection though, because I was thinking about it when I seen it start at the bottom out there here. It's almost like it's upside down, head and shoulders pretty much. Yeah, that's being greedy, I think. Yeah. Because truthfully, I still feel the most comfortable taking pullbacks. That's my baby right there. I really feel like that's gonna be my bread and butter. But when I see these rejections, yeah, that's being greedy, man. That's greed. That's greed. That's greed. I don't want to entertain that, man. I'm really, yeah. I'm being greedy. Yeah, I'm being greedy. So that's not clear at all. That consolidation is not clear. Hmm. But I don't know. Also, too, right? I'm about to get off, but I just thought about this because, and this is something I have to go back and do some research on. Look at some back data. A lot of times, because this 5 minute time frame, right? This chart to my left, this isn't a large time frame. It's only 5 minutes. So a lot of times, once it does reject from an EMA, depending on how strong the rejection is, right? And that's going to be um, up to your determination, right? what strong is and what weak is. But I like to say it rejects more than just one candle. At least two. Not all the time. But it seems like, I don't know if it's half of the time. I don't even want to say majority, but a decent amount of times. You know, could have held that. Because I'm here. What does it say? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Because that was a rejection up there, even though it was in the middle of my EMAs. No. Let me hold off on that. Hold off on that. But you can go look at it. You know, it seems to at least give out two candles from a rejection off of a pullback, and also off of support of resistance line too. Right? And that's something I think was Oliver Velez I first seen mention that price likes to pull ideally 3, 5, or 7 before it pulls back. So if price is just going, let's say 6, 5 or 6 bars of the same color line, let's say it's bullish, 5 or 6 green bars, you should be looking for a pullback soon. You know, so I'm sorry, 3 to 5 bars. Sometimes it goes up to 7. Now, depending on smaller the time frame, then I've seen with my own eyes that, you know, price may drop a lot quicker, and that also you'll see more of the same color bars right behind each other, as opposed to, let's say, like on a 5-minute or a 15-minute, you might see 3 to 4, let's say, red bars in a row before there's a green bar. I mean, pullback. So that's something to look at. I forgot what it's called, but you can go look at that too. So price isn't just going to keep going down forever or going up, not necessarily forever, but for a really, really long period of time, depending on what time frame you're looking at. Because you can look at these red bars, right? Let's look at the bars right here. Let's count them. We can count them before I get off on a 5-minute chart. And let me open this up some more. All right, so if we go, let's say 1, 2, 3 red bars, right? In succession with each other, I'm sorry, before a pullback, this green bar here. Right? Now we can go look at these green bars going up. There was 5 green bars, really 4 green bars, and then at the end was an exhaustion bar, I guess is what they call it, with high volume. And then the next green bar was a doji, which is indecision for the market. And then you seen a red bar next, right? Therefore, you have a pullback. And before this green bullish move, what do you have here? You have 3 red bars again before a pullback or a major pull, or reversal pretty much. And so this happens a lot. So I would say become very familiar. Once you find out what your strategy is, I mean, while you're building your strategy, and also figuring out what time frames you want to enter on, and also, I guess, use to determine the conditions of the market, then you can really start to look into in detail notes about how often You see bars following back to back with each other, right? Without a pullback. And also depending on what instrument that you use. So, and that might help you too. So you won't get overzealous if you see something dropping. It could be the fourth, let's say it could be the fourth bar, or four red bars, right? And you see price dropping. So instead of trying to chase the price on the 5 minute, you're like, hold on. On average, I know that when price is dropping on the 5 minute time frame for crude oil, it normally drops no more than 5 bars, let's just say, before it pulls back. Before it pulls back. And so now if you're on bar 5 or either bar 4, or let's say even bar 6, you're like, oh no, this is an irregular price action. Let me hold on. Let me look for a, I guess, pullback or reversal, if that's your trade. But if not, then you can still just say, okay, well, I'm going to halt. I'm not going to put my money in because from my past experiences and past data, price is either going to reverse very soon or it's going to just halt. So I don't want to be chasing that price. I need to look for a better entry. And little things like that really do matter. You know, they do. Mm-hmm. Yep. Same thing over there too. All right. So little tidbits like that, I found make a difference because I never even thought about that until I heard Oliver Velez speak on that. And that guy been in the game for a while, so man, I don't think no one has as much information on their channel as Oliver Velez. I haven't seen it. It might be some traders. I don't know. He put out videos like every day. They're pretty much similar to each other, right? And I feel like, okay, that's important. They don't have to be different all the time. They're similar because he trades a particular way, and that's his staple. And so you need repetition so that something will become like second nature to you. And also, he tries to keep it simple. And I think he does. Like, he's one of my favorite traders, man. So if y'all get a chance, go check out his page, Oliver Velez. And if you like it, thank me later. Let me know in the comments. And if I can help you guys, I hope something I said help you guys. You know, if you're a beginner trader, I think some of the things, you can pick some of the little pieces of wisdom that I've learned so far. It might help you. You do the research first. Don't take it for gospel, because I'm still learning too. But take it, do some research with it. Hopefully, it points you in the right direction or a better direction, and it helps you out. So, yeah, with that, I'm gonna close out. I got work, and really soon, so I'm gonna be done for the day. I'll see you guys Monday. I'll be back on the charts. That's it. Close this out.